Hi, it's Terry.
And Jen.
A few weeks ago, we talked to you from our big rental that's happening right now, and we said we'd be back to talk more about it.
Yeah, so we just wanted to give some home renos, some tips and tricks, things that, small things that can make a big impact on your home, and also sticking to a budget, just some tips from there. So,
That's hard.
yeah, yeah, it is. Um, and so, there's like, say, the top three renos that make the biggest impact on your home. And the first one is painting. Painting your home, giving it a freshen up. Yeah.
Yeah, like where we moved from, in 17 years, it's every year we painted a room,
Well, it took us we did one, I painted. I'm very slow, and so I just did one room at a time, and when I finished them all, it was time to start again. But you know what, it worked for our budget, and it was something that over the years I learned to do myself. So I think I'm pretty good. I'm just very slow.
Yeah, well, painting can really, like the paint, what's in really changes all the time, and the dark browns or beiges, which were 8 years ago were all in, everybody did it. And that changed, and it can just change the look of a house, to freshen up, fresh smell, but just change a room completely.
Yeah, change the look and the feel of a room, right? Make it lighter colors, make the room bigger and brighter, and yeah, so that's one of the top three. The second one is the kitchen. Changing the kitchen. And I know I've talked to a lot of people through COVID how, being stuck in their house, they're like, oh, I realize I hate my kitchen. So, a lot of people were looking at different options for kitchen renos, and that does make a difference. One, if you were going to sell it, but two, also for you, because we all spend a lot of time in the kitchen and cooking, and it's kind of the hub of the home. And so having a nice kitchen that's workable is a great investment, not just to sell it, but for you and your family, and make it a place where you enjoy being in.
Yeah, and a kitchen reno doesn't mean you have to tear everything out and start from scratch.
No.
Sometimes you're maybe taking some old wood looking and painting them white, maybe just changing the handles, maybe you're just changing the countertop.
Yeah, there's a great paint now too for countertops. So I haven't used it, but I have a friend who did it, and it looks fabulous. And she just did it herself. Yeah.
And again, there's so many different things you can do.
Yeah. And there's lots of YouTube videos too that how to. I love YouTube, and and there's different stores that hold classes, like Home Depot. They have different classes on stuff. And then the third top one is bathrooms. So we all spend a lot of time in there too. So,
yeah, well, we know kitchens and bathrooms sell homes.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't mean you have to start from scratch. You got to also, what's the reason you're doing it? Are you doing it to sell your house, or just doing it because you're just sick of that shower? You're sick of, it's an old bathtub.
The glaze is gone. You can't have a bath
anymore. Why are you doing it? And it could be just an old vanity. Again, it could be a matter of changing the countertop and the vanity, changing the sink and the fixtures.
Taps, a new mirror.
New paper or toilet paper holders. We did that in our last house.
It made the hugest difference. I'm like, why did it take us so long to do this? Anyways.
So So those you can make it very complicated, or it could be very easy.
Yeah. And so really, you want to ask yourself, like, why are you doing it? And so a lot of people have been spending time in their house and realize that there's things that they didn't like about it, and maybe there is some easy tips and tricks that they can do, and getting more out of your living space. The first thing we always say to people is declutter, declutter, declutter. I know I've had clients who are thinking of selling their house, and so we go through and we're like, well, you have to declutter and freshen up with paint. And once they've done that and they've gotten rid of so much stuff, either yard sales or given it away or sold it, and they look around their home and they're like, we really like our home. Like now it's, we can live in it. It just feels better. So decluttering, that feels so good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always one of the biggest things to change up your living space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And another one is like having furniture that does like double duty furniture. So it lessens stuff in your room. So if you have a coffee table with drawers in the end, or you have an ottoman that you can lift up and put toys in, or blankets, so you don't have them out.
Talking about how to pay for these things, and budgeting, and it's a big thing to talk about before you start, and either having a good home equity credit line, or having the money in the bank. We always tell people not to use your credit card, and that's why sometimes even our clients, we tell them how we kind of went through with our house is every year you plan on doing something, just put aside a few $1,000s, and just every year do
and sometimes
something.
it wasn't even that. Like sometimes it wasn't even that much because we didn't have it.
Yeah.
So that would be always like our Christmas present to each other, or our birthday presents.
Yeah, don't put yourself in huge debt, to do these renos.
Yeah,
Like,
and if you're not in a rush, you just take your time, and So whether it's a small remodel or a big gut, you do want to stick to budget, and there's just so many things that make such a big difference, like we talked about. And we talked about painting, decluttering, changing handles, sometimes fixtures, sometimes a light fixture. So go on Lowe's, Home Depot, Home Hardware. They always have light fixtures on sale, and wait till you see something nice on sale and then pick it up.
Be patient.
I frequently am on all those sites looking for good deals. Also the trim in your home. So something just to modernize it, it's not expensive, and it's something easy to paint yourself, is changing the trim, making it a more modern trim. In the house. That makes such a huge difference.
And we did our last house, and we didn't do the whole house. We did a few rooms at a time, and then started in the basement, and then the next year did some maintenance level, and just before we sold the house, we did
our last room.
The last room, we said, well, we have to finish that one last room,
because we had hardly any baseboards in there for a bit. It didn't bother us because we weren't really spending a lot of time in there. And another thing too, because we go into a lot of houses, and the plugs, like the electrical plugs, are like the beige or the yellow. Either they yellowed over time, or they were yellow or brown. And changing that to like a white, and changing the cover to a nice white cover, or something nice, but call electrician.
When you where it's needed, you should be hiring a professional, getting quotes, talking to people, friends and family, get referrals.
Or your real estate agent, because your real estate agent, they know plumbers, electricians, people who've done a really great job on different things, and you want somebody who's going to do a good job, but get some quotes, so then you can at least also budget for that as well, so okay, so this bathroom reno, that for what we want to do, that's going to cost about $2,000 or something. And a new shower curtain. New shower curtain. That's always nice.
We could talk all day.
I know.
But I think the next time we'll talk about adding value, like if you're preparing your house for a sale, where money should be spent, and things like updating a heating system, or if you have electric heat, do you convert, or do you leave it for the next person? So we'll talk more about that.
But also with the budget too, you want to prioritize what's important, what you want to do first. Make a plan, like get the quotes. Outline everything you want to do for the job, like write it down on a piece of paper, and then with a bit of a approximate, like Google different prices and stuff on items, and then add about 10-15% onto that, because jobs always cost more than what you think.
Always.
Especially if it's a kitchen or bathroom reno, depending on how deep you want to go. Always pad it a little bit, so then doesn't hurt you financially
You're better
after.
prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look for sales. There's lots out there all the time. And then stick to your budget. Really
Good
try
luck.
to stick to your plan.
Try.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that, just a few little tips and tricks on renos, and
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us.
yeah, and if you have any questions on renos or what to do maybe to update your house, or
If you need help looking for somebody to help you.
Yeah. And if you have any real estate questions at all, please send us those at the info@aimsteam.ca.
Yeah.
Great.
Have a great day. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.